Something dark has been simmering under TikTok's carefully filtered surface. And now, it's boiling over. At the center of it all, Ashley Barnes, a name once synonymous with trendy dances, cozy influencer aesthetics, and girl next door relatability. But behind the ring lights and soft edits, a very different story was unfolding. What started as whispers about a chaotic house party has erupted into full-blown allegations of manipulation, threats, and a digital cult-like following that's left fans shaken. Screenshots, voice memos, mysterious text threads, influencers turning on influencers, and most chilling of all, a growing chorus of former followers claiming they were emotionally controlled by someone they once idolized. But this isn't just about drama. It's about power, parasocial obsession, and the dangerous gray area between influence and control. From Kimi Varble's emotional voice notes to the bizarre cult accusations tied to Ashley's inner circle, the situation has spiraled beyond what anyone could have predicted. What really happened that night at the party? Was Ashley a victim of TikTok's mob mentality? Or a carefully veiled manipulator finally being exposed? This is more than a scandal, it's a reckoning. And the receipts? They're all here. The night everything changed started like any other influencer gathering. Music, drinks, curated selfies, and carefully edited TikToks. But as the party raged on, something shifted. Attendees began posting cryptic messages. Kimi Varble, a former close friend of Ashley Barnes, released voice notes hinting at something deeply unsettling. She sounded shaken, conflicted, hurt. Within hours, TikTok was flooded with theories, fan reactions, and blurred images allegedly tied to that night. The accusations were vague at first. Claims of emotional harm, groupthink, and subtle pressure tactics emerged, none explicitly naming Ashley, but the implications were loud. Kimmy's tone didn't scream revenge. It sounded like someone breaking free from a toxic situation, but still unsure how much to reveal. Then came the screenshots. Texts between creators began to surface, showing discussions about Ashley's behavior, how she allegedly centered herself in every narrative, encouraged public pile-ons against dissenters, and expected unwavering loyalty from her inner circle. Some attendees said they felt trapped that night, manipulated into silence, unsure what would happen if they spoke out. Others claimed they were gaslit when they tried to address concerns. The party was no longer a party. It had become the epicenter of a digital reckoning. And while Ashley publicly remained quiet, her silence only fueled the fire. What really happened that night wasn't caught in a single video. It was buried in group chats, voice notes, and a mounting sense of unease that would soon explode across the internet. Ashley Barnes didn't become a viral name overnight. Her rise on TikTok was methodical. Soft-spoken affirmations, aesthetic vlogs, and mental health content that made thousands feel seen. She wasn't just an influencer. To many, she was a safe space. But as her follower count climbed, so did the whispers about her real-life behavior. Beneath the calm exterior, some followers claimed, was someone entirely different. Someone who thrived on control, secrecy, and loyalty at all costs. That's when the term TikTok cult began circulating. Former collaborators described an unspoken hierarchy, one where Ashley allegedly positioned herself as a misunderstood leader, surrounded by an inner circle of devoted fans and creators. Those who questioned her were allegedly iced out, blocked, or quietly discredited in group chats. Critics claimed Ashley used therapeutic language not to heal, but to disarm, cloaking manipulation under the veil of emotional awareness. Some followers even admitted they felt they couldn't leave her community without backlash. They described a fear of being labeled toxic or unsafe if they stepped away. And when they did, they said Ashley's fanbase, intentionally or not, took care of the punishment. None of this was proven in court or acknowledged by Ashley publicly, but the pattern painted by ex-fans and ex-friends was consistent. This wasn't just internet drama. This was a parasocial system that had quietly become weaponized, and the cracks were beginning to show. At the heart of this unraveling controversy stands Kimi Varble. Once one of Ashley Barnes' closest allies, now one of the most vocal participants in the fallout. Kimmy didn't start with bold accusations. Instead, she released emotional voice notes that felt more like confessions than call-outs. Her voice trembled, pausing between words as she tried to make sense of what had gone wrong behind closed doors. Those recordings lit a fuse. Fans dissected every second. Some claimed Kimmy was being manipulated into silence. Others saw it as a soft exposure, a warning without saying too much. But things escalated fast. In a later message, Kimmy allegedly claimed that Ashley had made a direct threat against her. The word kill was reportedly used, not figuratively, but literally. That claim alone sent shockwaves through the community. Ashley's defenders pushed back, accusing Kimmy of fabricating drama for clout. They said her voice notes were vague, her accusations lacked proof, and the supposed threats were exaggerated or taken out of context. But Kimmy's supporters argued she had nothing to gain and everything to lose, and that her hesitation to name Ashley outright spoke to fear, not malice. The internet split in two. What started as concern over party behavior had turned into something much more chilling, a potential pattern of intimidation, silencing, and psychological warfare. And while the evidence remained scattered and incomplete, the emotional weight behind the claims could no longer be ignored. As the allegations gained traction, Ashley Barnes' online world turned into a battlefield. Her diehard fans, once praised for their positivity, became relentless defenders, flooding comment sections with counter-arguments, discrediting former friends, and framing everything as a smear campaign. They painted Ashley as the true victim, someone targeted by bitter ex-friends, jealous influencers, and clout chasers desperate for relevance. But the critics were just as loud. They dissected old live streams, past tweets, and subtle social cues Ashley had once posted. Patterns emerged, vague shading former collaborators, deleting comments that raised concerns, and shifting narratives depending on the platform. Some creators even claimed they had privately warned others about her months before the party scandal exploded, but had stayed silent out of fear of retaliation. Meanwhile, neutral followers felt caught in the crossfire. Comment sections became war zones filled with parasocial defenders, self-proclaimed truth seekers, and former fans trying to make sense of it all. Every new post, every silence, every cryptic caption from Ashley only deepened the mystery. Influencers began publicly picking sides, some denouncing her behavior, others defending her as misunderstood. The drama had moved beyond the party, beyond Kimmy. It had become a case study in what happens when influencer culture turns tribal. At this point, it wasn't just about Ashley anymore. It was about power, perception, and the terrifying speed at which the internet can crown someone and then destroy them. In the days that followed, Ashley Barnes' once loyal community began to fracture. TikTok creators who had quietly supported her stopped liking her posts. Some deleted collaborations entirely. Former fans started uploading videos sharing their experiences. Subtle red flags they had once ignored now seemed like signs of a much bigger problem. Hashtags once used to support Ashley began to twist, now filled with testimonies from viewers saying they felt manipulated, discarded, or used. Fan pages either went silent or pivoted completely. Even those who weren't directly harmed spoke about feeling complicit for watching, defending, or enabling her rise without asking harder questions. What made it worse? The silence from brands and collaborators. No public statements, no dropped deals, no apologies. It was as if the influencer industry itself was watching from the sidelines, unsure whether to protect one of their own or wait for the storm to pass. But the storm wasn't passing. It was growing. Every cryptic video Ashley posted, a walk in the forest, a black screen with calming music, a quote about truth always surfacing, only fueled speculation. Her refusal to address the situation directly was seen by many as calculated, cold, and out of touch with the gravity of what was being alleged. Ashley Barnes hadn't just lost followers, she had lost control of her image. And in the influencer world, that's a collapse few survive. Ashley Barnes built her career on soft lighting, affirmations, and relatability. But the truth that emerged behind the filters has shaken her empire to its core. What began as a single night of whispered discomfort has become a sprawling digital reckoning filled with emotional testimony, shattered friendships, and a fandom that no longer knows what, or who, to believe. There may never be a courtroom trial, a PR apology tour, or a clear conclusion. But for thousands of former fans, the damage is already done. The illusion is broken. The carefully curated persona cracked open, revealing not a villain, not a hero, but a deeply complicated figure navigating influence, power, and personal accountability in real time. And as for the influencer industry, they're watching closely. Because what's happening to Ashley Barnes isn't just a scandal, it's a warning. A reminder that when loyalty is demanded, when transparency is denied, and when manipulation wears a friendly face, It only takes one story to turn the algorithm against you. Whether Ashley rebuilds, retreats, or disappears altogether, her story has already left its mark. And for everyone still watching from the sidelines, the question lingers: who's next?